This is the Rebel Scum Podcast. Available in video on YouTube and audio wherever you listen to your podcasts. Every week, Brock and James talk the latest rumors, news, and theories from a galaxy far, far away. Support us on Patreon for exclusive offers and join the Star Wars discussion. Patreon.com/RebelScumPodcast. Here are your hosts, Brock and James.
You're always scum. Rebel scum.
James, it's been a minute. It's been such a long minute that I didn't even look at our rundown for this.
Was this the longest break we've had? 2 weeks? Is that the long? Have we done longer?
Maybe the last 60 months for sure.
People were. I'm talking about Rez mostly, but people were very just. Rez was like, "Thank God I got a break." People were distraught. They're like, "When are you coming back? We need you. We need you back in our lives." Andrew Fantasia, and I was like, "What, Andrew?" Who, by the way, is real life Polka Dot Man. If you haven't seen Suicide Squad, he is.
No spoilers.
There's a kid. It's not a spoiler. I did say I said this to you on a text. So that movie is. I don't even like talking about it with people who haven't seen it. I got to see it. I actually watched the movie for the first time in forever. But I don't like talking about anything in that movie except James Gunn is he. I don't know. See, we did this a couple weeks ago. I saw a rundown from a few weeks ago. That's why I actually snuck this in there, bro. And we said James Gunn directing a Star Wars movie. And Guardians of the Galaxy was kind of, when it came out, remember, we were like, oh, it's like Marvel Star Wars, like that. Yeah. And you watch Suicide Squad, and it's very similar, but very different from Guardians. And it's, and after watching it, he has a very good handle on characters and all of that. And I'm not sure if I don't even know if he's a Star Wars fan, but I don't know if he's a voice for Star Wars at the end. I mean, if they hired him, I'd be excited and all, but I don't know if he is a voice for Star Wars.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, what is James Gunn's voice? You know what I mean? Like, I never really watched anything before Guardians of the Galaxy.
He's more okay. He's definitely more on like the campy horror. He could be a Star Wars voice. And the one thing that he understood though is somebody said, "Oh, would you love to do an R-rated Guardians movie?" Because Suicide Squad is very R-rated. He said he would only do it if it could be R-rated, blah, blah, blah. And he said, no. He said no to an R-rated Guardians. He goes, because Suicide Squad is R-rated, Guardians is not. And that, I will say I appreciate it, because we talk about an R-rated Star Wars movie all the time on this show. And I've been I think we've both kind of been against it. And he goes, that's not what it is. And I firmly believe that is not what Star Wars is. There might be a fun R-rated Star Wars somewhere, but ultimately I don't think that's what Star Wars is. So I did appreciate that comment about that, because he understood the properties that he was playing with, whereas one, you're allowed to rip somebody in half, and the other one, has a talking raccoon.
Yeah, like it's like, what director or writer wants to pigeonhole themselves? It's like they want to be able to yeah, I can make this kind of movie and that kind of movie. Like that's how they best sell themselves, So it's like Slither is one of his movies, right? I never saw that, but I
good
know
movie. It's actually
people. Yeah, right.
Yeah, for horror, I know you don't like those kind of movies. I don't really either, but it's that one is you can appreciate. If you watch it, you might appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. Like he is able to put himself in both worlds, the maybe gross humor, horror, violence, and then also do meaningful storylines and stuff like that. Like he wrote on Endgame or Infinity War. He put his thing and it all worked together. So many voices working together. So whatever. Yeah, why would he? And why would he want, just because he made Guardians of the Galaxy, it was why would he want to make a Star Wars version of that? It's no, make something new, right? So I'm very excited to see Suicide Squad 2. It looks awesome, and you're giving a glowing review, so that's pretty good.
Whoa.
You gave it a glowing review.
I did. But there's a caveat to my glowing review, though. It's not for everybody.
What's that?
I think the critics are making it sound like it's for everybody, and I don't. Watching it, I've watched it twice. Aaron, after I watched it, Aaron's like, "Oh God," I was like, "Yeah, this is gonna be a watcher." I don't think it's for everybody. I don't. I will give it a glowing review. I would give it a high rating. I would recommend it to you, but I wouldn't recommend it to necessarily everybody. I will say my father-in-law had a great time watching it.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't really know how he'd take to it, and it does stuff in it that he hates in movies and TV, like despises, and he was on board with it. And that's not a spoiler because I'll tell you and you'll laugh. So it's not anything you would think, but it does some stuff. I'll tell you after you watch it, obviously. But like, it does some stuff that I was like, as soon as it happens, and it happens early on, I was like, oh, he's gonna hate this movie. And he didn't, and I realized. But one thing I did with Aaron, Darth Ward, and my father-in-law before we watched it was we had a pool, a who would die and who would survive pool, and we wrote down the names. I thought it would be fun, and to be honest, I think that added to the movie because while you're watching, you're like, oh, scratch it. And so it definitely made it a little bit more fun knowing that you did that with it. So there's that. But I would give it glowing reviews. But again, I don't think it's for everybody. It's not for kids, obviously. And I think most people will enjoy it, to be honest. But some won't. It's a little graphic, you know. But I have seen a lot of. I saw a few today where they're like. People be like, oh, I don't like this movie, blah, 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 blah. How could they make this movie when Snyder has his universe? And I was like, what? Where did this come from? You know, like, I think it's possible to enjoy, you know, Snyder movies and this movie as what they are. You know what I mean? Like, maybe they exist in the same universe. I'm not sure. It is. One spoiler I will say is, no, I won't say spoiler, but it is definitely a sequel to the first Suicide Squad in a very minute way. But I, as someone who's not really a fan of that movie, very much appreciated that it was a sequel. It just very, very small, you know, like very small, but you're like, oh, I appreciate that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was saying to WGR, wonderful girlfriend, now fiance Reham, wouldn't it be funny if the first movie we went to see after so long of a lockdown would be Suicide Squad, because the last movie we saw together prior to COVID was Birds of Prey.
Oh, yeah.
It's still called Birds of Prey.
Oh yeah, because now it's called. I didn't watch that movie in the theater. I saw it on Crave last summer, and I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, it's fun. It's colorful. I like the actors, and we went to the VIP theater at one of the theaters that didn't have it, so they had just been renovated, and they were the nice seats that warm up and fully not like, yeah, they were all reclined, but like a bed recline, like that stuff they talked about 20 years ago exists. And I'm like, wow, I can't wait to come back to the movie theater. Haha, you fool. COVID. So yeah, I really want to see the movie. It looks awesome. I'm super excited, but
yeah, I think
that's right, James. I got to share with you, I am ready to go to the movies, and we can do that.
You know what? I was as well, and I got X-nayed by my wife. I got X-nayed on the theater experience.
I haven't put this past WFR yet, but like, I'm working on it.
I tried. I wanted to go. I wanted to go, and I got X-nayed, so we rented it. But it was whatever. It is what it is. It was fun. Harley Quinn. Huh?
We should do that for my bachelor party.
Just go see it, but go see like something really bad, like Goonies. Not that Goonies bad, but
movies that day.
What did you do all day? We watched 5 movies,
and then they're just like, well, at least they didn't go to the stripper club.
Well, one of them was striptease.
That's how often I go. That's how often I go to a strip club. I called it a stripper club.
The stripper club. But I know you like Birds of Prey, so do I. But I mean, I don't want to oversell this, but I really believe that Margot Robbie gave her best Harley Quinn performance in it. Like. I thought she was fine in this first Suicide Squad. I was someone who wasn't blown away by a lot of that movie. I thought Will Smith was the best part of that movie. But apparently that was the editing. Like, the editing geared that. But whatever. Birds of Prey I really liked her in. I didn't think twice about her. I was like, oh, that's fun. Like, I bought the movie. And then this movie, this movie to me, the personal opinion, it's all subjective. I thought every actor couldn't have been cast more perfectly.
Nice.
I just felt who they got to play it just afterwards you're like, there was even, like I said, my father-in-law was like, yeah, everybody was so good. I'm like, everybody like really came to play in that game, and apparently they all had like a lot of fun. And like some of the characters, you know, their arcs go like this and whatever, but you never bat an eye or flinch. Like every time they do something, you're just like, yeah, like everyone was great. In the first Suicide Squad, I thought Joel Kinnaman, who is Aaron, my wife's favorite actor, I thought he was the weak link in that movie. Like I was like, oh, but this one, it's like, oh my god, like nobody else can play Rick Flag than him now. Yeah. It's like it was weird. Like everybody was just so, I won't say anymore, but like everybody, in my opinion, subjective again, I just felt like everybody was perfectly cast. And I'm trying to think of other movies like that. And maybe Guardians of the Galaxy, another James Gunn one. I don't know. Like I'm sure there's others that I felt that way. Yeah. But the cast, I would go watch 100 movies with this cast playing the characters that they play over and over again.
Dude, I can't wait.
Now that I built it up too much, it sucked.
But anyways,
Star Wars.
Welcome to the Rebel Scum podcast, episode 226. I'm Brock. He's James. Bad Batch, almost done. Have you watched any more episodes?
No, but I read what happened in the last episode. Gotta say, are we going to talk spoilers for it?
No, because I don't even know what the big spoiler is in this.
It's the crosshair thing.
That he is acting of his own volition.
Yeah, I really thought that was cool when I read that.
Yeah, and that's like, see, I don't feel like that's a real spoiler. It's like, oh.
Well, I haven't been watching it, so I don't know.
like with Crosshair, and I was saying this, like they moved away from that,
yeah,
and then they came back. So it's like, it's good. Like I can't suggest it enough. But like that reveal was like, oh wow, that's cool. It wasn't like, oh, yeah, I was shocked, but it was like, that's fun. I like that. Like that's just a cool story.
Yeah, that's how I am, because I feel, you know, when you think about it, like that's how the Empire would be. Like Luke wants to join the Empire, not because he agrees with them, but because he's like, what else am I gonna do? I'm gonna join the Empire. And it's like, I like that they kind of will, like, you know, not fully, but focus a little bit on that. Like not everybody was against what they were doing, like, and that's how it is in war, man. Like, you know, people aren't against it, people buy into it. They're like, well, this is the right thing because X, and you're like, oh no, it's not. Yes, it is. So I really appreciated that,
and I can't suggest it enough. And almost like we kind of saw this coming, season 2.
Yeah,
it's so like
gives
now
me time to finish season 1.
Like the story going slow, it's like, yeah, we're gonna sit with these characters for a minute, and it's like perfect.
So yeah, here's a question: would you rather one season get to the punchline, or would you rather like 10 seasons of just enjoying time with characters?
I think this move of 2 seasons, if not more, after it makes complete sense, because you went to the trouble in season 7 of Clone Wars to give you these characters. Like, wow, cool. Like, obviously, it could be the whole like He-Man, G.I. Joe effect where we're making toys right now. Like, fine, but they were still in those 4 episodes. You're like, wow, that's really cool. Like, they were all kind of different, even though they were the same character when you think about it. And it's like, yeah, I would love to. And then that was the end of it. And they're like, here's the show. I'm like, oh. So, anyways.
Sorry, Suicide Squad has a Bad Batch connection.
I heard there was a Star Wars connection, but I read an article and I couldn't make sense of what they were saying. So.
What's the voice of the clones? D. Bradley Baker.
Yeah.
Am I getting that right?
Yeah, D. Bradley Baker. I think. Yeah.
He voices a character in Suicide Squad. I can't tell.
Nice.
But I'm laughing. Not. It's just
Does that have
like,
something to do with? Does that have something to do with Ratcatcher?
Yeah, you say yeah. It's just
Okay,
it's
then I can read that
it's
arc.
very ridiculous that they got that. But anyway, that's the connection right there. Ratcatcher. A lot of people saying Ratcatcher is their favorite character in the movie. Not this guys. Not this guys. Not this guys.
Is it King Shark?
I will not tell you who my favorite character is in Suicide Squad. I will say I went in thinking one character would be my favorite, much like Force Awakens, and I came out. I can't tell you who my favorite character is.
Man, I can't wait to see all the comments. Like, get to the good Stalin, get to the Star Wars.
Anyway, yeah, I'm excited for Bad Batch 2 because now I have time to finish. I finished He-Man. I finished He-Man.
Oh yeah, I love that.
I finished He-Man. So let's just put this in perspective, okay? Bad Batch is like 12 episodes, right? 14.
No, it's 16.
Okay, and I still haven't caught. He-Man was 5 episodes, and it took me a month to get there. So like, throw me a bone. Throw me a bone on this, okay? It took a while, and it took actually Rob forcing me to watch it. It wasn't even like my own free will. It was like, it was on and the projector, and I watched it. It was great. It was great.
Yeah.
Stop review bombing it. It was fine. As someone who dressed up as He-Man for Halloween, and my mom put a toilet bowl around. I'm not even joking. It was the old days they used to have like stuff that went on toilet bowls, like covers. Someone gave my parents one that was like it would look like He-Man's loincloth, and my mom actually put that on me for Halloween. My parents were abusive. Let's just. So my dad has not stopped telling me about that to this day. It's been 40 years. He won't stop telling me that I wore a toilet seat bowl cushion on my ass for Halloween when I was like 3 years old. But anyway, He-Man, Barney Rubble, Dennis the Menace, Aquaman. That's who us blonde kids had to look up to in the 80s, okay? So that's what we had. And you took Aquaman away from us, Snyder.
Like you're a weird backwards ginger or something.
That's all we had. I was like, when I was a kid, I'm like, when I grew up, I'm going to want to play Barney Rubble in a movie because I got nobody else. Like, I was like, if I want to be an actor, I got to play Barney Rubble. There's no one else.
Like, I will go on the journey with Filoni. Even if he's not writing and directing these things, he's putting his name on it. I will follow him. I will follow him to the end. And if it's a failure or whatever, but like the show is good. The show is good, and it's taking its time because they kind of knew that they were going to make another. Or I don't know how it works with Disney Plus, but you know what I mean. I
had an idea.
Avatar. I'm in season 1, and every other episode is Dave Filoni. I'm like, yeah, like I trust him. Like you just gotta let these people try new things, and maybe it works out. Like I think at the end of this season, regardless of what happens on Friday on the last episode, it's just like
it
was
die.
a good show. Cool characters. Bad Batch, cool character. Like I'm like, ooh.
It's like what do you want from Star Wars?
I think Omega is going to be a very interesting character, and they haven't even scraped the iceberg. You know what I mean? Like it's
that's interesting.
There's a lot there. I do want to rewatch the whole series because like I said, it's like I do this thing where I watch things at 6 a.m. and I'm not fully awake, so it's like. But like I gotta say, like I like the character. I liked like young Hera in a couple episodes. Like
oh, she's in more than one. Spoilers.
Yeah, it's like they're on oh god, what's the Twilight planet called?
Oh, Ryloth.
Ryloth, thank you. They were on there for 2 episodes. And like that was good too. And like they put a clone character that's on there is I was gonna say Gregor, but that's not Gregor. Oh, yo, Gregor was in an episode, and I was like, he laughed. I'm like, that's Gregor, and then they're like, Gregor. I'm like, oh, I think right. I can't really keep track of what I watched in the last 3 weeks, but oh god, what was? I forget what. Like, anyways, there's a good story between Cham Syndulla and his family, and this droid. this other clone. I forget.
I am curious to see Cham in the show because my favorite book, Star Wars book, I'm gonna just is Lords of the Sith, and Cham Syndulla is the main protagonist in that. It has to do with Palpatine and Vader basically attacking, or they're going through Ryloth, and Cham is the leader of like this resistance there. I think it's before the rebellions really become a thing, and he big time attacks them, and I think it's a phenomenal book. It's definitely worth a read. But Cham in that was very different from Rebels, and Rebels Cham was very different from Clone Wars. So I'm curious. I'm really, that is something that I do want to see is Cham Syndulla.
But it's like the whole season is about like what happens when everything you believed in comes crumbling down and a new regime gets in. So you get to see what's his face, Saw Gerrera again. You see Cham Syndulla's point of view. You now see Crosshair's point of view, and like Rex is in one episode, but like you keep hearing about an episode, so it's like he's up to something, and we haven't fully seen it. So it's like now he's a clone that thinks outside the box, and it's like, what do I do now? So it's like the fallout of when the bad guys win. So it's like I think the only mistake they've made is like they worry too much about the hijinks of like, oh, let's go on this fun mission. It's like we didn't need to focus on that, but at the same note, like it'll pay off at some point or whatever. It's just Star Wars. Who cares? Like so that's my thought on it. It's like I loved it. So
Star Wars.
I mean, like, does it change? I keep seeing articles and they're clickbait where it's like, how the Bad Batch has reconfigured this. Like, how has changed this forever? And I'm like,
I refuse to read those.
Yeah. I'm just like, how?
I refuse. I guess like I was saying, the very first episode of Bad Batch, I still maintain if that episode were in live action, it would be considered one of the best Star Wars we ever got. Mm-hmm. I believe that. I think it was a solid episode. From there, you can think what you want, but I do believe that first episode was some of the best we got. Mandalorian Season 3, Giancarlo Esposito is quoted as saying they have finished Boba Fett, and they will be starting Mandalorian Season 3 very soon, which means Moff Gideon is here to stay. Do you have any thoughts on where this season could be heading, Brock? Like, it just...
Not a clue.
Yeah, it's wild.
Does that mean Giancarlo Esposito is in Book of Boba Fett?
No. Well, it doesn't mean he's not necessarily. Yeah. But it means... So if you read it, it sounds like he's kind of saying... Like, it kind of sounds like he's in it. But if you watch the clip, he says, well, they just finished Book of Boba Fett. Now they're moving on to Mandalorian. So he kind of says it more like he has nothing to do with Book of Boba Fett. That being said... Who the hell knows?
Going back to your original question, though, I think we're definitely going to get a storyline where he is fleshed out more as a villain, right? Because he's like, it's very interesting where he's like, he's the bad guy, but we don't spend a ton of time with him. But when we do, it's like, it's awesome. And now it's like, he's the villain that they didn't get rid of. So he's still around. So like, there's a lot you can go after. And then, of course, I would assume another big component would be who exactly has the black saber, right? Who should have the black saber, right? So I don't know. And I mean, let's all be honest. We want Grogu to come back, so it's like those are the three things that like we're hoping to see.
Are you at all concerned that they might just kill off Moff Gideon in like the first 5 minutes of the season? I hope not. I hope this, but they've done this in TV shows in the past where the big bad survives. Like, oh, they survived, and the first half of the season premiere is like, oh, that's dead. On to the next problem.
Yeah. You know what? No, because like you just said, it happens all the time. But the first two seasons are probably some of the best post Disney purchase Star Wars we've seen. So we're all happy about it. So let's let Dave and John do what they do best and just believe in them. Like I don't want to sound like I'm a shill for David Filoni, but like he doesn't deliver garbage. Like not everything is great, but like he puts out something. You sit there and you listen to him and like, yeah, he knows what he's doing. So it's like if that's his idea, let him do it. And let's go from there. So it's like I'm just saying deliver and give us live action Hondo Inaka.
That's gotta be coming. Hondo's gotta be coming. There's no way Hondo's not coming.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if they create a character?
He's in Disney World now. Or in Disneyland. Like he's at a theme park. So Buck, if your parents go to Disney, they're gonna be like, I don't know who that guy is. He needs to be in live action so that your parents will know who he is when they go to Disney.
Sir, the possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
Never tell me the odds.
Never tell me the odds. Brought to you and me by the wonderful people at Patreon. Patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. If you think we're great and you like what we do, why don't you come on down to Patreon.com and support us? Got a bunch of things there, some extra content, some extra things here, that, this, then, and support us and be one of the many wonderful people that we love to shout out on every episode. And those people are executive producer Heidi Feder, Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Randy Kenobi, Mary Kristen Hayton, Jeff Wilson, Phil Stanifor, Suna Thron, Scott D, Josh Price, Matt W,
Raz, Frank Perkins, Neil Lowry, D. Raven, Spencer, Cosmic Girl 02, Gleek Play 1, Disney Desi, Charlotte, Kayla Davis, Aaron Clinton, Dan and Nerds, and the girls with sabers. They have sabers.
They have sabers.
Buffalo sabers. They're not from Buffalo.
Good.
Our first nod today is brought to us by the wonderful people of Patreon. Will the Bad Batch tie into the Book of Boba Fett?
That'd be cool. Cause yeah, wow, I never even thought of that because you could just have an older Omega in some way. That would be fantastic. Cause like what don't you do in Book of Boba Fett? You explore what Boba Fett was like, felt like as technically a clone. I mean, I guess they kind of touch on base on it on Clone Wars with him. I don't know, maybe not enough. Like flesh it out, you know. I'm gonna go 75% on that one.
Wow. Well, because I'm so knowledgeable. Is my mic on? Yeah. Knowledgeable in Bad Batch. I'm gonna go 63%. I'm piggybacking off of what you're saying because I have not seen it. Also, we don't know what it's about, but I think I know people are Filoni doesn't do everything on this show. I know, but he has a hand in it, and if he's gonna have a hand in this and that, and you're gonna want things to connect, why wouldn't you do that? I mean, you brought Bo-Katan in, and characters like that, so why would you not want to connect them? So I'm gonna go 63% on that. Connect them all. Connect them all. And our next nod, will we get a Cassian Andor trailer by the end of August? By the end of this month, will we see a Cassian Andor trailer? If you're watching and listening to this 6 months from now, comment that we were right or wrong on these. It doesn't have a release date yet.
I'm gonna go 25%. I don't know. It would be great. I'd be so for it, but like,
I'm gonna go full Brock on it. Full Brock.
wow.
I don't know when it comes out. I feel like they might not, but also they might. My guess is this is going to be similar to Marvel last year with WandaVision, Falcon, and Loki. We're going to get Boba Fett, Andor, Obi-Wan, a break, and then Mando. I feel like that's how it's going to play out. So we might not get anything for it until Boba Fett comes out, because why also? I mean, Why would if because Boba Fett they're saying is December, right? So if that's the first one we get, why would you want to hype us up for the one that comes out after it before you hype us up for the one that comes out first? So I'm gonna go full Brock though, because maybe we get just like, here are 3 Star Wars movies shows coming out, and we get like a combined like sizzle reel of, oh my god.
Yeah, like that trailer where like they had Stanley talking and then like
Yeah, that was great.
showed a bunch and then showed like this is what's coming after that, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm down with that, because
Why
that was awesome. And our final odd, will Taika Waititi appear in a Star Wars before directing a Star Wars? Will he be a character other than a Mandalorian, obviously? And I mean like his face, like not a voice, his face. Will we see his face? Yeah, because he's IG. What the hell IG is he? 11 or 88? He's 11. So he's already that, obviously, but that's in the past. So I'm talking forward now. But we want to see his face. Will we see his face in a Star Wars before?
Did he direct any episodes in the second season?
No, not the second season. Just the first season, the finale.
Yeah, I don't see why not. He knows those guys.
He's gonna be the very first face we see in the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, hi there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm gonna go 80% because it's like, yeah, they're like, hey, he's working on something else right now. Come over to this CG prison and pretend to be something else. But like he's visually on screen.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I'm gonna go 70%, 71.5% is what I'm gonna do. I figure, why not? You've got him. I think you've got him. Use him. Let it be a good time. But I mean, at the same time, he seems very busy. So who knows? Who knows? He's busy. So it probably won't happen, because we both said it would. All right, you want to go to the news? You ready for the news?
Yeah.
Holla news, da 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 da. Holla news, da da. Is this the song you're walking down the aisle to? Da 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 da. That would be the worst ever. All right, my mic's off.
Holla news. The news you really need to know right now. The Walt Disney World Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel has been announced that it will open in the spring of 2022. An immersive 2-day Star Wars experience that evokes the feeling of being in the movies. The tech will be more advanced than any other Disney experience, including the Rise of the Resistance of Disneyland and the Star Wars Galaxy Edge lands. The cost, as you might expect, is going to be higher than almost any other Disney experience too, with the exception of, say, a grand scale wedding or renting out Epcot for the night. Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser is revolutionary new 2-night experience where you are the hero, according to Walt Disney World's website. You and your group will embark on a first of its kind Star Wars adventure that's your own. It's the most immersive Star Wars story ever created, one where you live a bespoke experience and journey further into a Star Wars adventure than you ever dreamed possible. The idea is that you're staying in a luxury space cruise so immersive that the hotel's windows looks out into space and you never leave the property unless it's in to board a transport to Batuu, the land where Star Wars Galaxy Edge takes place. Admission to Hollywood Studios is included in the price, as is all of your food and non-alcoholic beverages. But it will start you off at $4,809 for 2 nights accommodation for 2 guests in a studio. And the prices go up $5,299 for that same room if you add a kid, and up to $5,999 if there's a kid and a third adult in the room. Suite accommodations are even higher. So to compare, Disney's most technologically advanced cruise ship, the new Disney Wish, includes an aqua coaster water slide ride, a Star Wars bar, and a Marvel restaurant where you can eat foods from Black Panther's Wakanda and the Scarlet Witch Sokovia. And it's set sales next summer. Prices will be about $1,000 a night for 2 people in an ocean view room with a balcony. So if you want to go to space without going to space, it's going to cost you a lot. Probably not as much as Jeff Bezos, but what you going to do?
Wait, when do we go? When do we leave?
I can't even afford to stay in a normal hotel on Disney.
Well, it's a good thing this isn't a normal hotel.
Star Wars fans have been massively excited since Disney announced the imminent arrival of a real-world retractable lightsaber. Now the filmmaker has given us our first close-up glimpse of what the device might actually look like. We're even more excited as a result, but not all the fans are convinced. If you go to their YouTube, it shows a video showcase from Walt Disney and Imagineering appears to show the device in the lab with the blade emerging from the hilt. Blink and you'll miss it, but this is the closest most of us have got yet to see the real-life device in action. Even close up, it's clear the device isn't really a blade of light, and we assume and hope it won't really able to slice through limbs, but it looks a lot more convincing than any other lightsaber replicas we've seen. Many fans still can't get over their excitement, saying, "Oh my word, they really weren't kidding about that lightsaber," while others are getting a little picky and aren't convinced by the device's proportions as seen in the video. One fan commented, "Disney, please have a better lightsaber at launch. The concept is so cool, and clearly you almost got to it in a finished product, but it's now too bulky and flimsy to be released." And in our final story, the new R2-D2 Tamagotchi will be coming to Star Wars fans' homes on November 11th. It was announced last week that was on StarWars.com that fans will be able to train, clean, and take care of R2-D2. Star Wars has proven to be a timeless franchise and one that fans are eager to continue exploring. What makes it an absolute thrill to be able to incorporate it into the Tamagotchi experience, says Takayoshi Oyama, business management team at Bandai. The R2-D2 Tamagotchi is an epic collaboration to be part of, and we can't wait to see how fans of the franchise react to this out of this world device. There are two options for the R2-D2 Tamagotchi that features animations of the astromech. The R2-D2 will be able to learn 19 different skills and will also require attention to keep R2 charged, cleaned, and also playing mini games. These include firefighting and also Dejeric, or what as we know as holochess, and other mini games can be unlocked, as well as R2's new owner worked to keep R2-D2 happy. And this has been your Holo News.
Holo News. Good times on the Holo News. So seriously, I think I just got us tickets to the Star Wars hotel. Not that one, not the real one. It's a fictional one. It's a green screen. Enjoy it. That's wild, though. Just wild. But some people are going to definitely enjoy it, and good for them. You ready for top 5?
Let's do it. Top 5.
So this is 5 years of doing this damn show.
My God.
5 years. When we started this, I thought for sure 5 episodes and we'd black out. Just call it quits. 5 years later. Here we go. Top 5 moments from our first 5 years.
Woo!
I forget what my number 5 is already because it's so memorable. Sorry. Remember, like, the top 5s were so easy when we first started. And then we made them more complicated, but they were good. They were good times. Do you remember our first top? Do you remember what our first top 5 were?
No.
Okay, well, that hurts my feelings. Our top 5. It was top 5 movies. We ranked the movies top 5. At the time, there were only 7 of them, and you and I had the exact same order back then. It would definitely be different today, I think, but back then we had the exact same order of movies. And we're like, this is gonna be a tough sell. But we did that. There was no video back then. We didn't do video until like I think week 11 or 13 or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did it. Top 5 moments for our first 5 years. Actually, my number 5 is we do it. We should do them again, I think, soon with some Patreon. But we do the Vote of No Confidence trivia games. And do you remember the one we did where Rob beat Josh from the Den of Nerds in like the most glorious ending ever? I like it because we were all like baffled beyond all comprehension. So that is my number 5. It was just, I mean, it's more just like those were fun to do and we got to hang out with some people and stuff. But that one specifically was hilarious.
My number 5 is also doing the Vote of No Confidence. I think I was just going to choose the first one.
The first one was the best one.
Yeah, yeah.
No, the first one wasn't not the best one but it was the best experience because you set it up at your old work. Like it was a big like theatrical production. Yeah, that one was a lot of fun.
And then the one with Josh and Rob is funny because it's like it was like we were mentally preparing to do video conferencing.
Yeah, we're ahead of our time.
So.
That was awesome. My number 4, Star Wars Celebration Orlando. We got to go. Chicago, we did get press tickets. Andrew went in our place, but Orlando was a lot of fun. That was the one. It was like Christmas time. We were walking down Port Credit where they used to live, and you're like, "We should go to Celebration," and we did.
Yeah,
that was it. We just did. So that's my number 4.
My number 4 is that as well. So yeah, going to Celebration was wicked. I loved it. It was great. It
was a great time. My number 3 is hanging out with you once a week.
That should have been higher, Dick.
No, I can't. it would be, but no, but it was a lot of fun when I could come to your house. But now you're really the only person that I see outside of people I work with. So
yeah, that's the thing I realize. It's like we haven't seen each other physically in 2 years because of COVID, but it's just like it doesn't feel like that because we see each other at least once a week.
Yeah, I think it's actually officially longer than 2 years.
Yeah,
I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
you're number 3.
So anyways, yeah, my number 3 is going to be somewhat similar to number 4. I think it was really, really cool. I was gonna say specifically, Celebration Chicago, that we got media passes for that, but I'm gonna say just in general, we've been getting media passes to other little events, and it's great to like be able to go to these things I like to do, and like here you go, thank you for supporting this event. I'm like, awesome.
And Fan Expo's coming up in October.
Yeah, so
October 21st, cool. 22nd. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I always appreciate when
my number 2 is meeting so many new people mostly virtually. I guess entirely virtually. But we met a lot of really cool people by the Patreon or on social media. It's been phenomenal meeting and talking to other Star Wars fans alike.
My number 2 is when we were at Celebration Orlando, and even though we weren't together, we both were in the vicinity of George Lucas.
Oh yeah.
Stage, and I'm like, it's happening. I was like, they're just like, we're already there. I'm like, I can see it. It's
security
I was blown away that Harrison Ford was in that building. I was like, wow, they made it happen.
He must have got a lot of money. Security got a little bit mad at me during that because I got right to like the front. I didn't know what was about to happen, and people were pushing me, and I was like hitting like the guardrail, and I was like, I don't want to, but I'm getting like massacred here by these people. Like, everyone stand down. It's me and the Rancor. My number 1 happened just a few short months ago when you asked me to be your best man.
My number 1 is being friends with you and working on this podcast.
Do you see why yours is low on the list? Because I had to. It's been
a time.
And this is our last episode ever.
Goodbye.
No, it's fine. I hope we do it longer. It's weird. Yeah. It's weird. Like, Star Wars is funny because when we started it, you get a movie every year. It was like nonstop movies. And then like, Last Jedi happened and Solo happened and Rise of Skywalker happened. And like, yeah, we're going to stop with movies for a while. And Josh Trank happened. Josh Trank, he happened. Like, things happen. And it's like, oh, what the hell's going to happen? The Mandalorian was like, whoa, what? And there's been this last year has really been since like Mando ended. This has been, Bad Batch is around, but this is our biggest lull in like big Star Wars news for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's not like Star Wars is doing bad. It's just COVID. So like
COVID, it was nice. We had 2 weeks of just like chilling and relaxing and living our best lives, and the Jays are back in this country playing in the Sky Dome now, Rogers Center.
Baby.
Yeah, it's back. Thank goodness. The world is back to normal. COVID's done. It's a thing of the past. We've moved on from it. There's no concern there anymore. I know people are concerned that Star Wars Celebration Anaheim next year might get postponed. I think it's still too early to tell at this point. But anyway, we'll see what happens when we get there. All right, this is episode 226 of the Rebel Scum podcast. You know what next week is?
227.
You've
Jack
been waiting.
Jack A.
You've been waiting for this episode for 5 years.
Oh man, do you think Jack A is on Cameo? Let's find out. Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
I hope she is.
Have you ever looked at Cameo?
No.
It's so cool.
There was
one. Not anything, but like I just like, oh, I like that idea.
There was one on Facebook that would give me an ad, but it wasn't Cameo. It was like that though, where people would send you a message. And you're like, but the prices were in Canadian, but they were converted from Americans, and some people were like for $39.11. I'm like, what? Who the hell? It's kind of weird. Are you looking to see if she's on there?
Yeah. I don't know how to spell Jack A. No, the best part was like I was listening to another podcast and they brought up Jack A, and I was like,
yeah, of course they did.
227.
Try to look for something Star Wars too.
Jackie. Okay, that's 2 E's. I wasn't sure if it was a Q or not. Give me a sec. This is gripping content. Give me a sec.
Then I'm just throwing my diecast ships. You can't see. That's all I got. I can't reach anything else right now that's Star Wars related.
Come on. On it first.
Penguin Funko
nope,
Pop.
Not on it. No, Jack A is on Cameo. She can't be on the show. So
the last 2 Funko Pops that I got, by the way. Like, nice. and that's a coincidence too. Like, it wasn't like I didn't get either one of them. That's the coincidence. Different people got me both. That's the coincidence. All right, we'll have to get her on Cameo. You're Brock. I'm James. Thanks for watching. 226. Anything else you want to say?
Stay classy, San Diego.
You were always scum.
Rebel scum.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.